Hello lads, what's up? This is Kostas from Angry Monkey Games, and tonight we're playing Company of Heroes 2. I've been playing this game quite a lot recently, and why not? Because it's a hell of a game. Don't really pay too much attention to the people's feedback on Steam. They're grounding due to the fact that the developers have decided to use lots of DLCs, but still, if you find it on sale, you can grab everything for a very good price, and you will definitely enjoy this game because it's, for my opinion, one of the best games ever. So while I was introducing you, hopefully you have seen a couple of things about the doctrines that are available to me. I'm playing as the Soviets, and basically the series of videos that I will be uploading is gonna be by playing multiplayer matches with the Soviets, and hopefully we're gonna have a look on the tactics that can evolve by using this army with the different commanders, as you can see over here. Which commanders give you different abilities, as this one over here, for instance. He can upgrade your conscripts, and you can build the 152 gun howitzer so that you can bring upon your enemy some heavy artillery rounds. And also you have some air support with the Il-2 Strumnovik. The other commander, as you can see here, provides you partisans, and the conscripts are able to repair buildings and vehicles and so on. But let's get started over here so you can see my base. And what I usually do is that well, there are two approaches basically. You can either use the engineers that you have right away in order to build a tier 1 or 2 building. I tend to do this a lot recently, but on this occasion, basically on this game, what I did is that I just sent them right away to capture a flag and started building some conscripts at the same time from my headquarters. It is quite a good practice in the beginning, at the early stages of the battle, if you try to keep your units a bit together. And I'm saying this because in the beginning everybody is rushing around to capture flags, but if you leave a unit alone, it's a bit vulnerable, and if your opponent amasses some forces, a couple of units, then you might lose it. And sometimes the turning point of the battle can be in the beginning, because if you let yourself suffer too many losses, you won't be able to react quickly, and this means that your opponent might be grabbing loads of flags, which means much more resources. So he will be able, if he's good enough, to build the units quicker than you and give you a real bad time. So as you can see here, I'm moving from the top left hand corner of the map. This is the section of my responsibility, and we have the first opponents. So as you can see, he has a unit on its own, but we're using 2 units together, so hopefully we shouldn't have a problem. A third one is coming from behind, that you can see. I guess he is also moving another unit, so I'm trying to use the third one in order to flank him a little bit. So we can proceed by capturing the first star flag. And this is the power of 3 units against 1. So that wasn't too much of a problem for us. So you might be thinking, why I haven't built the tier 1 building? Well, basically There is a rule in Company of Heroes. If you find yourself building all the buildings and all the units, then you're probably not utilizing them properly because you're not building enough numbers of them in order to be efficient. There is a population capacity on the game that does not allow you to build infinite units. Therefore, you need to more or less choose what you're going after. And what I found out is that I'm not using snipers at all. They are a unit that can cause some terror on the opponent, but it's really difficult to keep them alive, at least for me. And also the light vehicle, I'm not using it either. Neither am I using the penal forces because I'm using the conscripts for their place, and also the guard rifle ones if they are available on the commander that I'm using for the battle. Therefore, I'm just moving straight forward to the T2 tire building, the Tier 2 building, which provides submachine guns, mortars, and the Zigs, the anti-tank Zigs. And those are really useful because the submachines can pin down enemy units, therefore making them immobilized, so your other units can just clear them out. There is of course one way for the opponent to tackle with my submachines, and this is by using mortars. However, this of course makes them a very important unit, but however, in order to hit a mortar you have to just charge against it. I mean, there's no easy way around it, unfortunately. So as you can see here, we're trying to cover to get some ground by capturing more flags. Another very important factor is that you can use your engineers to build some armor on the flags that you capture, and you can choose whether they're gonna be producing more fuel or more ammunition. This is an important choice to do. As you can see, I haven't done this yet because currently I'm focused on the battle. At those early stages of the battle, I cannot afford to spend money on the flags. So as you can see, my opponent keeps wasting his infantry units. He's moving them one by one, and this is not really good for him.
Infantry squads are now available. Conscripts can now dig in.
Also, a very important factor in this game is whenever you are on a fight, try to use any cover you find around. This makes quite a big difference. And when your units are covered, you will see a little sign like a shield on them, and this means that there are less possibilities for your opponent to get a hit.
Waiting for your command. We have taken it. Departing. On our way. Move out. Mortar team has arrived. Moving out. We are losing territory.
So our main impact is over this star flag, basically. It's me against the player over there on the left side of the map. And I'll try to position the mortar team as well. Mortar teams are really important because Not only do they counteract submachine guns, but they're also very useful when enemy infantry units are charging against you. They can shoot at them from away, and they cause quite some distress. And now it's time to build some fuel armor around the flag, as I was telling you earlier.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Forward, comrades. HMG crew is ready.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Here we go.
PPSH submachine guns will now be issued to all new conscript squads. Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
As you can see here, I'm not following one of my best rules. And this rule is, if you wanna win,
Troops have been lost.
even if you're losing the battle, just stay alive. And if you stay alive, you will win.
Taken our supply sector.
So when losing the battle, you can simply press the T button and your units will automatically withdraw to your headquarters, where you can upgrade them to a hospital and revive them, more or less. And this is really important, and it will make things a lot easier. So just keep this in mind. As I said before, all those tactics do not guarantee your victory. However, they leverage the chances much to your place.
Your orders, comrade. Rifleman ready.
And as you can see now, I'm building the Tier 3 building that will give me access to some heavier armor units.
Get to work, man. Under fire!
Some of those battles rage for usually an hour or so, and this is a good battle when it's an hour. So if the battle is less than say 40 minutes, then this means that the teams were quite unbalanced. And the players were not doing such a good job as they could, actually. So as you can see here, I have been forced to withdraw from the star flag.
A squad of infantry has been killed.
Now this is a tactical withdrawal. We can afford this since our co-players are holding the rest of the flags. We can afford to lose one flag. So I'd rather just fall back a bit and rebuild my units for another assault. In this game you should avoid irrational things. You just cannot go in there without carefully planning your attacks and covering your units.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
And this is one thing that makes this game so beautiful and so nice.
Who needs a light? Combat engineers. Engineers have secured your command. You need something built? Starting construction. Flamethrowers. Engineers, we need a fuel depot over here.
T-70 light tank has arrived.
Now the T-70 light tank is a quite fast tank, but it's not very strong. So I mean, it easily gets outgunned and very quickly, while your opponent advances. However, it does have a small window of opportunity, and if you build it soon enough, you might hit this window. And this is what I am aiming over here, to build a couple of them and see if I can make a difference. Because as you can see, I have been pushed a little bit back.
Light tank ready for orders.
Ready for order. We may be small, but we're fast. Yes, comrade.
Red Army, at your service. Securing the objective.
Combat engineers are standing by.
Waiting.
So as you can see, my opponent's light armor is no match for my guns. And those little tanks are quite good against infantry as well. Now here you can see a very important game mechanic, reversing. So when playing with tanks, you really need to master reversing. So you just press U and then left click somewhere on the map.
Light tank ready.
Conscripts ready and willing. We must move.
We will secure it for the people.
I do not care who else.
We are on our way. We're builders.
Now this is trouble for me. Another thing that those T-70 quick tanks are very good at is that they're fast. So you can use them in order to change
Killed another infantry squad.
the point of impact from your enemy. I mean, since I'm having trouble over there, I can very quickly move around and capture this point, which he has left unguarded.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Yes, comrade. Ready for orders. T-70 repositioning.
We now have access to additional battlefield armor.
Forward! Moving out.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles.
And now we come to my favorite weapon of the Soviet army, and this is nothing else than the Katyusha. So the Katyusha is a very long-range sort of artillery unit, and this is a big part of my strategy whenever I play the Soviets, actually. Rather than building tanks, I just build quite a few Katyushas, and believe me, you can bring some havoc to your enemy. If your teammates do their job properly, which is to build some heavy armors and support you, then you can actually manage to follow this strategy, and this is a strategy that is a game winner, basically, because from the time I started following this strategy, I have realized that I'm winning around 70% of the matches. So what I do is that I simply allocate them a number, and there you have it.
Guard
he will go in order to capture that flag. So what's the Katyushas doing their job? Here I come.
Soviet HQ now includes a field hospital.
So the Katyusha is really
Seriously wounded.
terrifying for infantry, but also for heavy armor. I have seen heavy armor really fleeing
D-70 getting out of here.
away from the Katyusha
Positioning.
barrage.
Fire the 45. No time to sightsee. D-70 getting out of here. Katyusha waiting for orders.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Engineer standing by. Unit light up squad forward.
The enemy has 100 points remaining.
As you can see, there is a red blinking on the map, which means that the enemy is trying to capture the flag. So let's quickly go and see what he's up to. Thankfully, he does not have any Panzer Coopers, which means that my little tank can effectively scare them away. Here is my second Katyusha coming.
Rocket launcher on the field.
D-70 repositioning.
Now that was trouble.
Yes, comrade. Taking light vehicle fire. D-70 reporting.
The enemy is taking what we have secured. The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
Anti-tank rifleman moving.
Yes, comrade. Standing by.
Fresh
He's
guards
trying to
troops are
capture it, so
standing
there you
by.
go. You will have some Katyushas raining over your head again.
Have orders. Launch Katyusha rocket barrage. Orders received.
The enemy has 75 points remaining. You appear suited for command.
Soviet territory. We have capture orders, comrades. Enemy infantry. 10,000 infantry. Leaving the area. Name infantry. We are relocating. Capture orders acknowledged.
Katyusha waiting for orders.
Da, guards here.
Katyusha, ready.
You need light anti-tank support? Guards reporting. Capture complete. We deliver new territory. Anti-tank rifleman moving. We have capture orders.
So there you are.
Anti-tank rifle ready. Moving to hostile territory.
Let's use some Katyusha on him,
50 points.
because this is his main line of defense. can see on the minimap, the Katyushas are moving into position. My teammate also rained some fire on him, and here come the Katyushas as well to finish the job.
Sturmovik close air support is available.
This is why you need quite a few of them, because if there are many Katyushas, you just their force is mind-blowing.
Airstrike has been authorized.
Poor little fella, he has everything raining over his head. Katyushas, airstrikes.
We have nearly won.
Now this can be trouble though.
Down to 25.
Therefore, you really need to keep an eye over your Katyushas, because if an enemy armor just finds them, I mean this time you won't like it, but if he finds them, it's really easy to just destroy them. So you should really keep an eye on what's happening on the close vicinity to your Katyushas, and you should try, this is quite a good practice, just move them around. So after we captured the other flag, now I'm switching the Katyusha's attention to this front. But as you can see, it's in victory, so there wasn't much into it. So this was a good game. I hope you gained some knowledge about the game tactics that I'm using, and hopefully you're gonna use them as well. Thanks for watching this, and as always, please let me know what you think on the comment section. Take care.